Hi my dear students, welcome back to new session. Today topic is regarding pollen-pistil interaction. Pollen-pistil interaction, what is meant by pollen-pistil interaction? Pollination doesn't guarantee of transfer of right type of pollen grains on the stigma. Sometime wrong type of pollen grains also going to deposit on stigma. Right type of pollen grain we can call as compactable, wrong type of pollen grain incompactable pollen grains. Right here, the pistil have the capacity, the pistil have the ability to recognize which is a right type of the pollen grain, which is a wrong type of the pollen grain. If it is only right type of the pollen grain, the pistil it is accept the pollen grain and allow the pollen grain germination. If pollen grain is wrong type of pollen grain, the pistil it is not allow the germination. It is going to prevent the pollen germination and pollen tube growth. Right, so such a recognition capacity which is have pistil have the recognition capacity. Let's write the points. The first pollination does not guarantee does not guarantee of transfer of right type of pollen grains. Right type of pollen grains. Right type of pollen grains you can call as what? Compactable pollen grains. Compactable pollen grains. Right? Here, right type of pollen grains or maybe wrong type of pollen grains. Wrong type of pollen grains we can call as incompactable pollen grains. So actually here what is right and wrong pollen grains? What is right pollen grain? Right PG pollen grains, wrong pollen grains. So right pollen grains which are coming from the same species, to stigma. The pollen grains which are coming from the same species and deposit on stigma. Wrong type of pollen grains which are different species, which are coming from different pollen grains which are going to deposit on stigma, or sometime same species also. If it is same species, that is called as self incompactability. Right? Now the pistil have the capacity to recognize whether it is right or wrong. The pistil it have the capacity to recognize whether it is right pollen grain or wrong pollen grain. Whether it is right pollen grain or wrong pollen grain. If it is right pollen grain, the pistil it is going to accept and promote the germination. If it is, the fourth point is, if it is a right type of pollen grain, the pistil is going to accept the pollen grains and promote pollen grain germination. Right, got the point? Next, if it is wrong type of pollen grain, which is prevent the pollen grain germination, which is not going to allow the pollen grain germination or inhibit the pollen germination, right? And also inhibit the pollen tube growth. If it is germinated, which is going to inhibit the pollen tube growth in stigma. So this is we can call as a rejection, acceptance and rejection. If it is right type of pollen grain which is going to allow the accept and promote the germination. If it is wrong type of pollen grain, which is going to not allow the pollen germination, right, and also it is going to prevent the pollen tube growth in solid stigma, right. So this is actually pollen pistil interaction. So further, to recognition of right as well as wrong pollen grain, the continuous dialogues are occurred in between style to in between stigma to pollen grain. To recognize right or wrong pollen grain, the continuous dialogue, the conversation is occurred in between pollen grains to which one? Stigma. So the continuous dialogue, the dialogue is mediated by chemicals which are consist of pollen grain chemicals to stigma chemicals, right. Here to recognize the point, to recognize a right pollen grain, to recognize the right pollen grain, the continuous dialogues are occurred in between pollen grain to stigma, in between pollen grain to stigma. So these dialogues are mediated by, the seventh point is these dialogues are mediated by chemicals. Nothing but what? Chemicals. The simple way here, the chemical interaction between pollen grains to stigma. So which chemicals? Pollen grain containing chemicals which are going to conversion to stigma chemicals, right. So recently the scientists are saying that, you can see here, the interaction in between pollen grain to stigma which is going to recognize the right type of pollen grain, right. So the botanists are telling that the interaction between pollen grain to stigma, which is going to allow the recognize the right pollen grains, recognize the right pollen grain. It means accept as well as a rejection of the pollen grain. It is depend upon conversation or interaction between these two, pollen grain as well as stigma, right. So this is actually what pollen pistil interaction. Got the point? Very simple way how we are going to understand. For example, grass plant is there. Grass plant pollen grains we dropped on apple plant. So this apple plant stigma, which have the capacity to recognize either it is wrong type of pollen grain or right type of pollen grain. So this grass plant pollen grain which is have no capacity to germinate an apple plant stigma. Why? Because the stigma have the capacity to recognize which is the right type of pollen grain, which is the wrong type of pollen grain. It is going to allow if only apple pollen grains, or then only the stigma is going to allow the pollen grain germination. Otherwise pollen rejection is occurred. So how it is? It is a chemical conversion between grass pollen grain to apple plant stigma, right. So in this chemical conversion, so you can which one pistil it can recognize, either it is containing same or not. Got the point? So this is actually what pollen as well as pistil interaction. If it is compatible pollen grain, if it is right pollen grain, it is going to allow the pollen grain germination. The next heading is pollen grain germination. Pollen germination. Right? Pollen grain germination. Which pollen grains are going to germinate? The first point, which is the right type of pollen grain, also called as compactable pollen grain which germinate on stigma, right? After the deposition of pollen grains on stigma, the stigma which is consist of some moisture, moisture, nectar, water molecules are present. So these all are going to observe the pollen grain and increasing in the cell size, which are all observed by pollen grains and increasing in size. Increasing in size means which size increases? Pollen grain cytoplasm content is going to increase, right? So latter which is going to germinate, it is going to pollen grain germinate, nothing but leading of pollen tube. It is going to release a pollen tube from one of the germopore, right? Got the point or not? Now after pollination, if it is the right type of pollen grain, it is compactable pollen grain, the stigma, the pistil which is going to allow the pollen grain accept and germination, right? The stigma which is consist of some sugar molecules, moistures are there, that is going to absorb by the pollen grain and increasing in the size. After increasing the size, which is going to allow the leading, which is going to release a pollen tube through one of the germ pore, right? Next, pollen tube. The pollen tube, generally the chemical which is made up of, chemically made up of pectocellulose, right? And the pollen tubes are first recognized by the scientists we had discussed. The pollen tube is first recognized by, who is he? His name is Amacy, scientist. He was first recognized. Longest pollen tube we can recognize it in maize. Longest pollen tube we can recognize in which plant? Maize plant, monocot, right? Now what happened? Now pollen tube is formed. After formation of pollen tube, pollen grain containing content which is going to enter into the pollen tube. What is the content of pollen grain? We know that already, majority of the case, 60% of angiosperm pollen grain which are going to shed off at a 2-celled stage, and remaining 40% of the angiosperms pollen grains which are going to shed at a 3-celled stage. Whatever it is, either 2 cells or 3 cells, pollen grain containing content which is entered into the pollen tube. The point is, pollen grain content which is enter into pollen tube. What is the content of pollen grain? Mostly, if it is 60% of angiosperm, the content is what? 2 cells. The one cell is, you know already, vegetative cell, which is big size, and one more cell is what? Generative cell, which is small cell, right? So here, first, which is cell? Vegetative cell. It is also called as tube nucleus. Vegetative cell, which is also called as tube nucleus, which is first entered into the pollen tube, Now the pollen tube growth is going to occur. The growth is in a style. The growth is occurred in a style, right? Here, this is actually style, and here this one is stigma, and here pollen grains are dropped, right? Now this pollen grain which is going to germinated, pollen tube is going to lead form like. Right? Now here the first vegetative cell which is entering into the pollen tube. Now the pollen tube growth, the pollen tube growth along the pollen tube growth occurred through style. Right? So while the pollen tube growth in style, generative cell which is undergoes a one time of mitotic division and produce two male gametes. During this growth of the pollen tube in style, generative cell which undergoes second time of mitosis division. Why I have written second time of mitosis division? Because before that already one mitotic division is occurred to form one vegetative cell and one generative cell. So this is second time of mitotic division. In this second time of mitotic division, which cells are involved? Generative cells are involved. Now what happened to produce two male gametes? Here one gamete, here one gamete. Two male gametes are formed. Right? It means this is a pollen grain. Here this is actually tube nucleus, and here these two are what? Male gamete. This one is tube nucleus, and these two are male gamete. What is the point? Now here, now how many nucleus are there in? 3 nucleus are there in one male gametophyte. This is called as what? Male gametophyte. Right? Now one male gametophyte is contained 3 nucleus. When it is going to reach to the ovule, when it is going to the pollen tube, when it is going to reach to the ovule, tube nucleus is going to degenerate. When it is reached to the ovule, tube nucleus is degenerated. Tube nucleus is degenerated. Now how many nucleus are there? Now this male gametophyte which is containing only 2 male gametes. Only 2 male gametes. These 2 male gametes are. Now the pollen tube is containing 2 male gametes. These 2 male gametes are non-motile in nature. Non-motile male gamete is one of the major characters of angiosperm. Right? The point is here. 13 point. Non-motile male gametes. Non-motile male gametes which are present in the pollen tube, which is one of the characteristic feature of angiosperm. Now pollen tube, the pollen tube which is going to entry into the ovule, the pollen tube which is going to entry into the pollen tube. So here based on entry of the pollen tube into the ovule, it is again divided into 3 types. One is porogamy, chalazogamy, mesogamy. So these 3 words are not given in this. These 3 words are not given in the NCERT. In theory exam, no need to write these 3 points. Right? Based on entry of pollen grain. Based on entry of pollen tube, which is divided into 3 types. Right? The first one is porogamy. And second one is chalazogamy, and third one is mesogamy. The first one is what? Porogamy, chalazogamy, mesogamy. And porogamy means pollen tube is entered through micropyle region. The pollen tube which is entered through micropyle region. So that is called as porogamy. So sometime pollen grain which is entered through chalazal side. So that is called as what? Chalazogamy. So sometime pollen grains which are entered through integuments. So that is called as what? mesogamy. Example is the most common type of entry is through micropyle region. All maximum angiosperms are going to perform porogamy. And chalazogamy here, only some of example like this example is cucurbita. Example is cucurbita. And chalazogamy is casuarina, right? So this is actually based on entry of the pollen tube, which is again divided into three types. Now the pollen tube is entered into the through micropyle region, which is going to enter into one of the synergid cell. It means one of the synergid cell is going to lysis, and which is going to release the cytoplasm, right? So here the cytoplasm of synergid cells, which is release some chemicals, and as well as here the synergid cells which are covered by filiform operators, so which are going to guide the pollen tube towards where? Towards a egg cell, right? Here pollen tube is enter through micropyle region and entered into one of the synergid cell. And one of the synergid cell is going to lysis and releasing cytoplasm. Next point. Here this synergid cell containing filiform operators, which is going to guide the pollen tube to entry towards egg cell. After the lysis of synergid cells, it is look like as X body. We can call as X body. X body. So the movement of pollen tube towards a egg cell, it is called as chemotrophic. The movement of pollen tube towards egg cell, it is chemotrophic. Now when it is entered into when it is due to the entry of pollen tube, what happened? One synergid cell is lysis and cytoplasm is released. Now the pollen tube also be going to accept this, you can see, accept the cytoplasm and increase in size and going to burst, right? Now the pollen tube containing two nucleus which are released into the cytoplasm of synergid cell, and one of the pollen grain which is going to mate, which is going to fuse with egg cell to form zygote. That is, we can call as what? Fertilization. Now pollen tube which is released to male gametes into embryo sac, right? So this is actually what pollen pistil interaction. So from pollen deposit, recognition, acceptance, pollen germination and releasing of male gamete into the embryo sac. So this continues, you can see this from pollen deposit to entry of male gametes into the embryo sac. So this complete all stepwise reactions, the sequence we can consider as what? Pollen pistil interaction. From where? From pollen deposit to pollen deposit, later recognition, later accept the pollen grains and pollen tube germination, and growth, and releasing of pollen, releasing of male gametes into embryo sac. Embryo sac. So this entire process collectively we can call as what? Collectively we can call as pollen pistil interaction. Pollen pistil interaction. So this knowledge, this pollen pistil interaction knowledge, which is useful for breeders also. So here the breeders which are going to manipulate the pollen pistil interaction. So this knowledge which is useful to gaining of desired characters, right, in breeding technique. So this is actually what? Complete information regarding pollen as well as pistil interaction. Now just look at the NCERT diagrams. Here this is actually one pistil, right? So this is style. So this solid part is a style and this one is a stigma, right? Here I represent 3 pollen grains. 1, 2, 3. 3 pollen grains are deposited on stigma, right? So here these 3 pollen grains which are not going to compactable pollen grains. Out of 3 only 1 compactable, nothing but right pollen grain. So this first one is a wrong pollen grain, some other species pollen grain. Now this pistil is which is not allow the germination of this pollen grain on this pistil. That is wrong type of pollen grain, right? Incompactable pollen grain. The pollen grain is what? Rejected. Next. So this is second type of pollen grain here. This pollen grain is germinated, but you can say the growth of the pollen tube is inhibited. The pollen grain is germinated, but the growth of the pollen tube is restricted or inhibited. Why? Because it is also what? Not a correct pollen grain, not a compactable pollen grain. So this pollen grain also be what? Wrong pollen grain. It is also be what? Rejected. The pistil have the capacity to recognize which is right or wrong. Next. So this is third pollen grain which is you can see germinated and the pollen tube is growth along to style and at the last which is going to reach to the ovule, anatropous ovule. So look at the here entry of the pollen tube. This is actually pollen tube. Entry of the pollen tube is through one small gap is there. Such gap we can call as what? Micropyle region. What is the point? So that is called as what? Porogamy. Now discharges of male gamete. Discharge of male gamete. Now the pollen tube is entered through micropyle region and one of the synergid cell it is going to enter. Due to that what? The synergid cell is going to lysis. In diagram it is very clearly given only one synergid cell is lysis and another synergid cell is remain same like that only, right? Next. So this is actually what? Cytoplasm of synergid cell. So this is actually what? Pollen tube. This is pollen tube. Now the pollen tube containing 2 male gametes which are released into the cytoplasm of synergid cell. Where they are? Here. This is actually one male gamete 1 and here also be male gamete 1. So these 2 male gametes which are released into the cytoplasm of synergid cell. And this round nucleus is there na beta. This round nucleus is which is egg cell, which is egg cell. Look at the movement of male gamete. One male gamete is moving towards the egg cell. One male gamete is moving towards this cell. This is central cell, nothing but what? Polar cell, right? So this is actually complete information regarding pollen pistil interaction and somewhat extra information which is not covered in the NCERT but is important for competition exam. Here, male gametes are what? Non-motile gametes. Non-motile male gametes which is carried out by pollen tube, which is going to reach to the egg cell with the help of pollen tube. That is called as what? Siphonogamy. The first point is siphonogamy. Siphonogamy. What is meant by siphonogamy? Non-motile male gametes. Non-motile male gametes which is carried out by pollen tube, right? So such is called as what? Siphonogamy. Next these 2 points are monosiphonogamy monocyphonogamy, next polycyphonogamy. Monocyphonogamy, polycyphonogamy. Monocyphonogamy means most of the case only one pollen tube which are coming out from pollen grain through one germipore. So that is called as what? Monocyphonogamy. Only one pollen tube which is coming from either one of the out of three, either one from one germpore. That is actually monocyphonogamy, most of the angiosperms. Polycyphonogamy. Polycyphonogamy here sometime more than one pollen tube, more than one pollen tube from one pollen grain. So that is called as what? Polycyphonogamy. The best example is Malvaceae pollen grains. Malvaceae, a family, nothing but which one? China rose, right? Next some points are here. Which of the following elements are needed for pollen tube germination on stigma? Which are the minerals which are very essential for germination of pollen tube, which are boron, boron as well as calcium is needed, and temperature is in between 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. Temperature is needed, right? Next, the styles we can divide into two types. The style we can divide into two types, right? So some plants the styles are solid, and some plants the style is hollow, space is present. So here some plant style is solid in nature, right? It means here tissue is present. Such a tissue is we can call as transitional tissue, where it is present, which is present in style, solid style. Next, so some styles are hollow in nature. It means empty space is present, right? So this is actually what? Hollow style. Next, and here some points here which are like after lysis, synergid cell look like as what? X body, X shaped structure. So that is called as what? X body, right? So this is actually somewhat, and again which one? Mesogamy, porogamy, chelagogamy. So these are some extra content which is not given the NCERT, that is not for theory, only for competition exam. Next topic is plant breeding, artificial hybridization and emasculation. One of the easy topic. Plant breeding. Breeding means what? Breeding means here crossing between two different species or crossing in between two different genera. So here it is nothing but combination or combine the desirable characters to produce the superior varieties. Commercial hybrids are going to produce it with the help of crossing, nothing but breeding. Got it? So here one of the best method is artificial hybridization. Artificial hybridization, it is the best method to improve the crop yield. Artificial hybridization, which is the best method to increase the crop yield. How they are going to done the artificial hybridization? Artificial hybridization, in first they are going to choose desirable wanted pollen grains they are going to choose. And second point, they are going to mask the pistil. They are going to avoid unwanted pollen grain interaction with the stigma. Second. Third, this entire process is achieved by emasculation process. Got the point? Let's try the points. The first, plant breeding. Here it is a crossing between two different species. two different species or two different genera. It is a crossing is made in between two different species or two different genera. That actually what breeding technique, right? Here in this method they are going to choose desired characters. Desired characters are chosen. Desired characters are chosen or nothing but mixed, right? To produce commercial value hybrids or superior varieties. To produce superior varieties. To superior varieties nothing but commercial hybrids. Commercial hybrids. To produce superior varieties as well as hybrids, which one is best method? Breeding, nothing but artificial hybridization is the best method. Let's put the heading. Artificial hybridization. Artificial hybridization. Artificial hybridization, which is one of the best and major method to produce or to increase the crop yield. It is one of the best method or major method to increase crop yield. Increase the crop yield. Right? Next, in this artificial hybridization, they are going to choose desired or wanted pollen grain. Wanted pollen grain is chosen, right? First. Next, they are going to mask the pistil. Mask the pistil. We can call as bagging. So for what? To avoid the unwanted. Pollen grain germination or interaction, right? So this complete process which is going to achieved by emasculation. This complete process which is going to by which one? Emasculation. Just put the heading emasculation, right? The procedure of emasculation. What is meant by emasculation? So simple, in bisexual flower, it is, you can say, bisexual flower which is containing androecium as well as gynoecium. Before the anthesis of the flower, and before the maturity of anther, we are going to remove the anthers from flower buds. Now due to this removing of anther before the maturity, now the bisexual flower is going to become as what? Female flower. Got the point or not? Before it is what? Bisexual flower. Now what we did at bud condition, before the maturity of anther, we remove the androecium with the help of forceps. Now the plant, now the flower which become as what? Female flower, right? The first point is emasculation means removing of anthers. Removing of anthers before mature, from flower bud, or at bud stage, right? Now due to this, before that it is bisexual flower. Now it is going to become as what? Female parent. Now it is become as what? Female parent. If it is a 2 mark question in the exam, what you have to write? What is emasculation? Removing of anther before the maturity of the, before the opening of the flower, right? Or removing of the anther, removing of anthers before the maturity from floral bud. That is called as what? Emasculation. Next. So next, after emasculation, the pistil, the flower which is going to covered by one small polythene cover, that is called as bagging. They are going to cover the pistil, nothing but complete flower with the help of one polythene cover, that we can call as what? Bagging. In insert is given, that is generally combination of butter paper, right? Later, so after somewhat time the flower is going to anthesis, the flower is going to open, exposed to the style stigma. Then after that, what we have to choose? We have to choose desired pollen grains, we have to choose and dropping on this emasculated flower. Next, the third point is after the anthesis of the flower, after the anthesis of flower means what? Which one is stigma? Stigma is become as acceptable, right? It is going to receive the pollen grain. In that stage, we are going to drop the desirable pollen grain. We are going to drop the desirable pollen grains on this emasculated flower, right? And later again rebagging is occurred. Again for what? The bagging purpose is what? The masking of flower, the purpose is what? To avoid the unwanted pollen grain germination. To avoid unwanted pollen grain germination, right? So like we can develop the desirable characters, got the point? Next, so if in case of if the flower is unisexual flower, then what happen? In breeding, emasculation is not essential because of it is already what? Unisexual. Male flower is differ, female flower is differ. So what you have to do? Emasculation is not needed. If it is unisexual flower, nothing but a dioecious species, emasculation is not needed. First, and second, just chickens we are going to bagging at the beginning. Next, dusting of pollen grain, which is desirable pollen grains. Later, rebagging. So this is actually plant breeding, artificial hybridization as well as emasculation procedure, right? So this is a today topic. In the next class, we are going to discuss regarding double fertilization. Thank you all of you.